there's just been some breaking news regarding Kawhi Leonard being unhappy with the Clippers medical staff.
Oh, no.
And this is according now. Keep in mind the person that is reporting this. This is Skip Bayless on FS1. So, quote, I've been told by a very good source that the first issue became Kawhi. The first issue, I don't know what this is phrased very correctly. The first issue became Kawhi was unhappy with the Clippers medical staff because he felt that they early on misdiagnosed and underplayed the extent of the knee injury. I was also told, as told by you from day one, when this happened, he's gone. He's going to need some type of surgery. I'm not sure exactly what type of extent it is, but he's going to need surgery, so he's out for the rest of the playoffs. So if this is any type of true, I mean, this is definitely alarming. And I would say, if you just dismiss the feelings on Skip Bayless, it seemed a little weird. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I know, I believe, one of the games in LA, Kawhi was in his private box with his family. It just seemed weird. Like, did that just not strike you as strange? Like, you're not down there with your teammates, like, supporting them. You're just in a private box by yourself. I don't know. You know how we do in sports. We make big, thick deals out of nothing. But it does seem kind of weird that he's just up in, like, this nice box, and the rest of his teammates are down there. That just seems super strange. So,
even Kyrie, who we slam a lot, was on the floor in that elimination game when his team lost for the Nets. And he's taken all that personal time this year and done questionable things, certainly. Yeah. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're right. It's true. You're exactly right. So it just smells fishy. From the Clippers standpoint, in this most recent game, Paul George had 23 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists before fouling out with 1 second left. Reggie Jackson has been like a huge player in this series, really kept the Clippers.
Never thought I'd be saying that.
He had 20 points, and Zubac had 13 points, 14 rebounds. So it's tough because I do think this series would be different with Kawhi Leonard out on the floor. It is what it is. So I think for the Clippers, their standpoint is just trying to keep this team afloat in terms of keeping Kawhi happy. Is that right, Matt? I mean, if the Phoenix Suns, we could just play this out. It looks like they're just going to beat the Clippers here, either Game 5 or Game 6. They're going to get it done one way or another. For the Clippers standpoint, are you like, okay, let's just shelve this and just move on and just try another option? Or are you just willing, if you're a Clippers fan, if you put yourself in a Clippers fan mindset, are you willing just to say, hey, this is just a weird year. Let's just forget this year. Move on. We have a regular schedule. We have Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, 2 big heavyweights, and let's see if we can just, make a run, considering that the West is not a massive perennial power, right? It's a situation which I think is still wide open, and it's best not to overreact. Or do you think it's time to overreact and just kind of, give up on this experiment?
So I guess I'm of two minds here. If I'm a Clippers fan and knowing the success or lack thereof of this franchise, yes, they've been at an elite level since they drafted Blake Griffin. Like they've always been in the conversation, at least. They've been a relevant team, even though they haven't always been super close to getting to the title at that time. I think if I'm a Clippers fan, I want to do anything possible to keep Kawhi Leonard and Paul George together, because I know that that's 2 elite level wings that always gives me a chance to compete in some fashion or another. Like we're talking 6 seed or above in the West. So I think if I'm a Clippers fan and given the heartache of that franchise, that's what I'd probably be rooting for. Now, I am not a Clippers fan, Justin. So for myself, I think Kawhi had this godlike run with the Raptors. Kawhi hit amazing heights, winning a Finals MVP against the Miami Heat with the San Antonio Spurs. But look, you look at how he burned bridges in San Antonio, and some of that may very well have been on the Spurs, as he complained about their medical staff as well. But it's starting to look like a situation where based on lack of leadership these past 2 seasons in the Clippers. I do think, as you kind of alluded to earlier, there are some issues here with having Kawhi Leonard be your star player as well. You had a lot of structure. You had a great GM and president of basketball operations when he was in Toronto for that kind of incredible finals run that the Raptors had in 2019. So you had a lot of things in place there to help him out. He doesn't have, I think, the same support system in Los Angeles. I do think Ty Lue is a great head coach. I honestly, in today's NBA, I think Ty Lue is a better head coach than Doc Rivers. Some people might argue with me on that, but I think for like playoff adjustments, schematics, things like that.
Proven. I agree.
I do think Ty Lue is, even though he was an assistant to Doc Rivers before Rivers was chased out of town. So I don't know. For myself, you take that into account. You take all the load management issues with the knee. And, I mean, you want to get something for Kawhi, no doubt. You don't want him to just outright leave. But I might start hearing some like sign and trade offers, things like that for Kawhi, if that is at all an option, which it may not be, you know.
Yeah,
because he pretty much holds the cards.
He does. It's just, you know, Kawhi Leonard was being entered in that, you know, best player in the league discussion.
I think he's out of it now.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, you just see what Kevin Durant has done, and you know, with still LeBron being active, I don't think he should be in that running until he has another significant playoff run for sure.